You're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content, created for the fans by the fans. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Packers_access. Go Pack Go. Enjoy the show.
What's up, guys? Welcome into the PTA post-game show. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. You can email us, PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text us 865-658-5824. Join alongside Tim in Green Bay. We've got Emilio in Tennessee probably joining us here in a second. We'll see if he makes it in there. He might have had a daddy soda or 12. We'll keep the door open for him. We'll leave it that way. But obviously, the Packers get a huge win here in Seattle, 30-13. Man, I got to be real. It was hard looking at Twitter in the second half, and I'm going to try my best not to rant because, boys, we just beat the Seahawks 30-13. We were 2.5-point favorites, and there are still people complaining. Man, I'm telling you, this is not the post-game show for you. Probably want to go somewhere else and rant. Because I'm telling you, Tim, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else the team can do. Like, what? You're muted, brother. I'm glad you are. I don't know if I want to hear what you got to say.
I'm glad I was muted. I almost cursed. I said, at least we don't got to listen to him complain about the pass rush anymore.
Right, exactly. But it was a backup quarterback, I'm sure. Anyway, Dennis Shook with the first super chat. Appreciate you, Dennis. He said, this offense is different with Romeo. This D is different with Edgerrin Cooper. They took their foot off the gas and still spanked the Hawks. Go Pack, go. Completely agree, Dennis. Phenomenal game. Edgerrin Cooper, real deal. And, I seen some people on Twitter saying, well, he's not even a starter. He had starter reps the last game he played before he got hurt. His reps have went up every game this season unless he was banged up. He's a starting linebacker. We still have a rotation. It is what it is. Edgerrin Cooper's an absolute dog. Absolute dog.
Yep.
Romeo Doubs too, Tim. We were a little concerned him coming back from the concussion. Will he be? I don't want to use the word skittish, but will he be kind of maybe not himself? Bro, he was an animal out there tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Crushed it, man. Welcome back, Rome. Welcome back, Coop. Right, two guys we've been missing here for a while, and they came back in a big way for us tonight. And but yeah, man, Rome played fearless, dude. And that second tutter, man, that was. It almost defied logic. You almost watch it live and you're like, there's no way he caught that ball. And then you look at it, it's like, wow, he caught that ball. Rome is a dog too, right? Yeah, absolute dog, man.
No doubt about it, man. And again, we're going to go through all the stats. There it is right there. Again, Dennis, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. You hit the nail on the head there with Romeo and Edgerrin. Mike with the super chat says, do we have a run defense and a pass rush? Wow. Yeah, everything kind of clicked tonight, and I know it got shaky at times, but overall, man, this team, everything to me gelled really well. I know I was having a conversation with Justin and other people about that play calling going into halftime. You guys know my stance on that. I've said it all year long, and I know the majority of the fan base disagrees with me. Protect the middle eight. Protect the middle. You won the middle eight 3-0, right? It's huge. But that run defense and the pass rush tonight was awesome. And they were a little more aggressive, meaning they weren't as concerned about Geno Smith running the ball as I thought they would be.
Yeah.
And, boy, it showed, too. They just pinned their ears back. And Carl Brooks looked great. The Rashawn Gary sack, Carl Brooks should get as much, if not more, credit than Rashawn Gary for that sack because he was just – he cleared the way the entire play, just absolutely blew the pass play up. Of course, Rashawn Gary having the great wherewithal, and it was kind of designed to do that way, let Carl pave the way, Gary lag back, and then, of course, clean up with the sack. So, Mike, appreciate the super chat there, pal.
I think my favorite was the Devontae Wyatt spin move for the sack. That was a beauty. That one will probably make chalk talk, right, Clay?
Oh, no doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. I immediately thought of Dwight Freeney. I really did.
Yeah.
Again, this is what we talked about with Devontae Wyatt. He's a great pass rusher.
Right.
If we can get him a little more sound in the running game, man, holy cow. You're going to have a stud there. And someone had replied to me on Twitter and was like, really, I still think we should go get a defensive lineman in the draft like we were talking about, try to improve that position, but this is what you want to see out of Wyatt, right? You want to see him kind of dominate. He dominated that rep. We got Emilio joining us now. Emilio, what's your initial takeaways here, buddies? We're just diving in. First of all, King Tron, thank you. He just became a member here on YouTube. Appreciate you, buddy.
Love it.
Go ahead, Emilio.
Yeah, I thought, honestly, it reminded me a lot of that Tennessee game we went to. What it kind of felt like to me was just a bunch of sacks, and it felt like our offense could kind of do no wrong, except we weren't putting it, we weren't finishing every drive with a touchdown, but it reminded me of that. I love that the defense got together, got a pick, got a turnover, got a bunch of sacks, kind of really what they needed. Kept them under 20. That's all I asked out of our defense, and I think they did that well. It was tough with Geno going out, but you got to make sure that if that happens, we got to not let up, keep the hammer down, keep the gas on them. So I'm glad that they did that. Coop almost had two also.
Yeah, he had the tackle for a loss there at the end too, didn't he?
Yep.
It is. So
like Ted Tomato said, Cooper coming in like an unidentified drone.
Oh, I'll see what you did there. By the way, Pat McAfee mentioned that earlier. He mentioned that on NFL Game Day game day morning, and it was absolutely hilarious, bro. He mentioned it, and Rich got so uncomfortable. It was so funny. Anyway, we got a special guest in here, guys. Welcome back, Jacob the Beard. Look at this. Carly, you got.
I know you guys are missing Jacob so much. I just thought I'd channel my inner Jacob's beard.
Did great. You did great. And we're going to continue to do it until he comes back. That's the way it's going to work.
Wow.
Oh, wow. He's probably listening to this and thinking, what the heck have they done to me now? You can only imagine, Jacob. Let's see here in the chat. Crystal Dye says, Tim, 30 touches for Josh Jacobs. Let's go.
It was great. Did you hear Rodney Harrison on the pregame? When he said the magic number was 25 carries or more for Josh Jacobs, I'm like, man, I wonder if Rodney's a fan of the podcast, guys. We've been talking about that magic number, and what a game from him, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. The guy had his second fumble of the year. Whoop-de-doo. We've seen running back.
Listen, that wasn't him being careless either.
No, it got punched out. It was a great play, right? Two fumbles on the year. Come on, I'll take that. We've seen running backs with 2 or 3 fumbles in one game. So I think Josh played very well today and really helped carry us, man. That it's no secret, man. This offense really gets humming off that run game, feeds off the run game.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Definitely.
And pulling the stats up here real quick. Just wanted to take a quick look at it. Josh Jacobs, 4 targets, caught all 4 targets for 42 yards. Also had 26 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown, a long of 19. So, dude, just an absolute workhorse. And I mean, you touch the ball 30 times in a game like that, right? And I think, what was it that we already deleted, didn't we? No, there it is, 30 touches. Yeah, 30 times in a game. Chances are you're going to fumble sooner or later. It's going to happen. Now, whether the other team recovers it or not, that's the question. But I thought he's protected the ball pretty well this year. And I haven't looked at the numbers comparatively speaking across the rest of the league, but it feels like he's protected the football considering how much he has ran.
He's only had, 2 fumbles all year? That is not bad at all.
Yeah.
That's 100. Yeah. I'm that happy right now with only 2 fumbles.
Exactly. Jay Cole in the chat says Edgerrin Cooper is going to be Defensive Player of the Week. Again, I don't even know if we should do the contest. We should just go ahead and name it Edgerrin Cooper, right? I mean, you're talking about a sack, an interception, and a tackle for a loss. It's untelling how many tackles. Let's see here. Oh, he led the team in tackles too. 7 tackles. 2 tackles for a loss. My bad. Yeah, we might as well just close up shop. Although Kingsley Enagbare, 2 sacks on 1 drive, right? 1 series, 2 sacks. So just a great job.
You see him right afterwards asking for a breather. Yeah, let me get one, actually, but I can't be running that special team. I can't do punt return right now.
Exactly.
Let me just get one.
Exactly. Let's see here. What do we got? Coach Lynn. Coach Lynn in the chat says Stokes looked good tonight. Tim, you said that right before we went live. And Coach Lynn, I didn't notice it. And I'm not saying he looked bad either, right? I remember Carrington Valentine on that 1 drive, pass breakup, then the pick like 2 plays later. I didn't really notice Stokes much, but Tim said the same thing, so it's got to be true, man.
How does a prelim PFF number of 74 sound for defense?
Woohoo!
Yeah, we'll take it. And I think, to your point, Clay, Eric Stokes is one of those corners that when you don't hear a lot or you're not seeing him a lot, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for him. And a lot of what he did well tonight was not get cooked. And I thought he tackled well. I thought he played a really solid game. And we got a hell of a game out of Carrington Valentine as well. This was, that speaking it into existence, man. We had that positive vibe going into this game saying that our corners were going to step up when we needed them to. And they really did. Yeah, JSN had a few catches, right? Metcalf was able to do a few things early on, but all in all, man, we held the Seahawks offense to 13 points. I mean, I'm elated and ecstatic about that, man.
Yeah, same, man, same. All right, looks like we got Jordan Love at the podium, Tim. If you want to hook me up with that link. Actually, first let me hit Dennis Shook here. Super chat. Caleb would like a word. Caleb who? What are we talking about here? Caleb who? I'm missing it here.
Who?
Who?
Who's Caleb? Okay, what are we talking about? Caleb would like a word. Y'all catch that or me? Or is it? Am I lost?
Missed that one.
Dennis Shook, help us out here, bro. I think you've been in the ganja tonight. Caleb would like a word.
That devil's lettuce.
That giggle bush.
I'm not sure.
He said Valentine.
He meant Carrington. Okay, got it.
Okay,
Hey, hell, you call him whatever you want, man. He had a great game. You know what I mean? And I'm with you on that, Dennis, for sure. I thought Carrington, like I said on Twitter, man, either Carrington starts the next game or we march on 1265. That's the way it's going.
Yeah. Oh, did you? And the thing was, the dude threw the same route twice. Like he sat on the first one, almost picked the fade route, and luckily that was looked like we only kept X up, and it was just a 6-man blitz on that, and he got it peeled off his guy late, jumped it. I thought he was going to go down. He said, no, I wanted to take it. Lost us 5 yards, but we'll take it.
And let's see here. Donovan Schilling said, thank you for the super chat, Dennis. Donovan Schilling said, all hell Toyota-thon. Tim, give me that screen grab. Let's go to QB1 at the podium here, bro.
You got it.
Defense doing a great job getting the ball back for us. But, that's when we're at our best is start fast, getting the ball, putting up points, and going from there.
What kind of comfort does it give to a quarterback when you got a running back you just start a game and give it to him 8 straight times?
A lot of confidence, especially when he's running the ball the way he is and coming up with some big gains right there. I think when that guy's hot, you just want to keep giving him the ball and feeding him. And, I think just his ability to stay in there and, just take those hits and keep running the way he does. It's a special player for sure.
And we look at this turnaround for you individually since the bye. How much of that's because, when you have that running game, it seems to make things easier at your position throughout the league, right?
Definitely. Whenever you're running the ball well, the next stop is the defense going to try and figure out a way to take that away. And, they might load the box more, do things like that. So anytime you can run the ball, I think it just helps set up play action too and set up some more stuff down the field.
Jordan, every week, do you feel like more of a connection with Christian? Like you just kind of know where he's going to be and where you can put the ball in areas either to get pass interference or at least get a catch?
No, I think me and Christian, all the receivers had a great connection. I think just trying to get him those targets has been something we've been trying to do lately. He's been doing a great job. I think obviously there was a couple of deep balls today that were left short. I wish I would have put them out there more for those guys to go make a play, but they're doing a great job trying to fight through contact and drawing some of those PI calls. But, obviously trying to get him the ball as much as possible the way he's, running down the field and getting past some of these DBs. So definitely something to keep going forward.
Is that route to Romeo on the last touchdown exactly where you want him to be, just right down the post?
Yeah, he's just running a post, and they brought all out pressure, and he just won inside, and I just threw it up for him. He made a play, but it was definitely a lot closer to the back end line than I thought it would be. But yeah, all out, he's just got to go make a play one-on-one with that DB, and he came up with it.
What was the situation with the clock at the end of the first half there? Obviously, you guys had to set up the field goal, but were you trying to push it there or just kind of get into field goal range?
No, we were we had a shot play called right there, so we were definitely trying to take the top off and score a touchdown. I think that's always the mindset in those 2-minute situations. We had a timeout, so we were trying to push the ball down the field, and we drew the PI call right there with a couple seconds left. But we were trying to push it down the field.
What did their defense change coming out of the locker room? Obviously, it was a really explosive first half for you, and it seemed to take a while to kind of get your feet under yourselves in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think they did anything crazy, anything that we might not have been expecting. I think we came out and just weren't making the same plays that we were making in the first half. And, that was probably the most disappointing part of the game for us is just the second half. We didn't feel like we got back in that rhythm and that groove and were able to continue to just move the ball. But I think more than anything, we were just hurting ourselves in some of those situations.
All right, there you go. There's QB1 at the podium. Like what he said, man, you could tell they're not satisfied with that second half, right? And I know it got a lot of scrutiny. And here's the thing, though, when you've got a lead like that, everybody says, "Oh, put the hammer down," right? I love what Cannonball John said right here. Glad we took the points twice with field goals, because I'm telling you, when you throw the hammer down and it doesn't go your way, next thing you know, you look up and it's a 3-point ball game. They never got they got within 2 scores, right?
Yep.
And I'm telling you, it was just, and then when you needed to turn it back on, bang, defense steps up, makes a play, Romeo Dobbs touchdown, and you're right back up, put the dagger in them, right? I don't know, man. I guess I'm a boring fan, but that's just the way I see that. Is,
I mean, if you think the ending was kind of nervous there in the second half, can you imagine if those 6 points are off the board? We're having a totally different conversation here down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like Ted said, it's still 30 points a game, even though we ended up with those field goals. I mean, 30 points should win you the game.
That's right.
Out of all of our losses, I think, we would have maybe 2 that we didn't win with that. That's huge. So I'm thinking the offense is coming together. Jordan Love really is starting to heat up.
Yeah, for sure. Dennis,
Did you guys hear about what Josh Jacobs or what the sideline report?
You go ahead.
Thanks. It's a lot easier to talk this way anyway.
Yeah, it itches too, don't it? Sucks.
They get in my mouth. All this
right? Yeah,
craft hair.
Yep. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, did you guys hear what the sideline reporter said about what Josh Jacobs said about like living and being in Green Bay? He said that he hasn't had this much fun playing football since college, that there isn't that much due to Green Bay, but that's all right because all he wants to do is play football. And he said he's having the time of his life. I love it. I love that attitude on this team.
And that's the type of people that thrive in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to Brett Favre's problem in Atlanta, he was 22, 23 years old, I guess, something like that. Just got a ton of money getting drafted, and they threw him right into the big city of Atlanta, Georgia, and he just did a bunch of stuff he wasn't supposed to do. He comes to Green Bay, and there ain't nothing to do, right? And I'm telling you, it's all ball all the time. And the players that complain about that, you don't want them in Green Bay. You don't want Terrell Owens in Green Bay, right? Yep. How many rings did Terrell Owens win? Somebody remind me. So it's all ball all the time, and Josh Jacobs, he definitely fits that. I'm so glad you brought that up, Carly. It's huge. Dennis Shook in the chat said, "I'm convinced Toyota-thon love is a real thing." I giggled at it every time somebody mentioned it, Dennis, but it is a real thing. I'm convinced it's a real thing. So let's see here. Thank you for the super chat, Dennis. Appreciate you. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. You could see it in Seattle's backup quarterback's eyes. Get me off the field. Number 55 is going to.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm telling you right now, dude. JJ Enagbare cranked it up tonight. He took over that one drive. He literally had a sack, a tackle, and then a sack. 3 and out. They're off the field. Just dominated.
I thought we got a good game out of Mosby too. I thought he stepped up tonight, played pretty good. Kobe Wooden also made an impact, and a lot of guys stepped up. TJ Slayton played pretty good inside. We talked about Devontae Wyatt, but yeah, man, seeing JJ Enagbare tee off like that, man, we love to see that, dude. He's like a spark to that edge room for sure.
And that was big. The whole pocket was being pushed, right? It wasn't just Kingsley going to work on his own. I mean, you had Rashawn squishing it. Kenny had a good game, I think, squishing the pocket. Yep. Rashawn had that sack. I think everybody who was it? Was it LVN? No, it was Carl Brooks that wrapped around the dude and still got the sack. I mean, that's absolutely great. And the look of Enagbare is awesome. No gloves, tape the wrist, got the sleeve on it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Godsmack, thank you so much for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you. Let's see here. Eldergrim earlier said, post-game PFF. I don't even want to know what happened in the chat. Post-game PFF.
Emilio just started, and then he took it off.
Cooper, Cooper, 95. Carrington Valentine, 90. TJ Slayton, 89. Now, again, those are going to change, and they may have already changed if you go through and check them out. But the post-game PFF had Edgerrin Cooper at a 95, Carrington Valentine, 90, and TJ Slayton, 89. Let's go. Let's go.
TJ only got
talked
13.
about that, right? Oh, go ahead, Emilio.
I was going to say, TJ only got 13 snaps, too. 4 run defense, 9 pass rush, according to PFF.
And wasn't it like the first drive, I think, Tim, that he got to run stuff? It seemed like very first drive set the tone. Go ahead, Tim. What were you going to say, man?
I was just going to say, we talked about it in the pregame, right? We talked about the X factor was going to be this defense. You know, we had no doubts that our offense was going to put points on the board. You know, like Emilio said, 30 should always be enough to win the game. We knew we were going to do what we needed to do offensively. This defense really turned it up a notch. Being down Jair, I thought our secondary stepped up very well, played solid, and that those guys up front in the trenches, man, might be the best game they played this year, honestly.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, let's go to Matt LaFleur at the podium. Tim, if you get that grab for me, ready? Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's see what the QB or what the head coach had to say.
Just the tip that made a difference for us.
You guys are probably going to have to play on the road. You know, when you get in the playoffs, you're going to have to be, road warriors. How do you like how you're handling these situations when you're on the road?
You must have listened to my post-game press deal with Larry. It's exactly what I said. I mean, that's the reality of it, more than likely. So, but we just got to keep stacking wins and try to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. But I like our guys' confidence. You know, we came out, we started fast. We knew that was going to be a key to the game to try to take the crowd out as best we could. And I thought, the first half was a pretty clean half. CV had a huge pick for us, and we were able to take it down in points, get points at the end of the half. I totally mismanaged the end of the half. I mean, that was 100% on me. Just being a little too indecisive, putting it on Jordan, giving him a call at the line of scrimmage. It just took far too long. So that is something that can't happen, and that can cost us if it were a tighter game. So that one's on me.
Were you thinking they're just get into field goal range and then get into a half 17-point?
Not necessarily. It was a moment where I was indecisive, and then didn't want to call timeout because too much time had ticked off the clock, and then I should have called timeout and didn't. It was just poor management and something that can't happen.
And Jordan was checking to a play. Is that
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I gave him free reign to get to what he wanted to, and but I shouldn't have done that. I should have been more decisive and had a play called for us. Got on the ball. Definitely did not want to give him the ball back before the end of the half, but once we got into midfield, we needed to be more aggressive, and that was just lousy play calling by me.
You could obviously see it in the stat sheet, but what did having Romeo back mean in this game?
Yeah, how about that catch, that second touchdown catch? That was big time play. I love how Rome works, and he's been pretty consistent for us when given opportunities, and he comes through. So it was cool to have him back out there, and it's hard to get all the guys the amount of touches you'd like to when you have a room that you feel is pretty stacked, and you got a lot of guys that you want to get involved, whether it's our running backs. Certainly Tucker Kraft made some big time plays, but that's a good problem to have.
With a young team, what is the process like of instilling that killer instinct in games when you just go finish it? How important was that touchdown to put a stamp on this?
Oh, it was big time. Because it felt way disjointed in the second half. I mean, that's the reality of it. And again, give them credit. I mean, that's a good defense. But I thought there were some opportunities there we just didn't capitalize on. And some was just lack of execution, and other was terrible play calls.
How do you look at those pass interference ones to Christian? So, Jordan said he wanted to get the ball out there a little bit more, but he still gets it, in a situation where the receiver has some sort of an advantage. I mean, you consider those?
Are you talking about the last fourth down or the last third down?
Well, was it first half pass interference down to Christian where the guy was right in his chest? He said he wanted to get that a little bit farther down the field. But I mean, are those plays you consider good decisions on his part because he sees a guy one-on-one and thinks maybe he can get interference?
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, if we have a lot of confidence in our wide receivers, no matter it's Rome or Wicks or Watson or Jay Reed, Bo, any of those guys. And when they get one-on-one ops, we expect them to make the plays. And then, I mean, a PIs, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but those are some chunk plays.
Matt,
All right. I know some people are having a hard time hearing it. I completely understand. I wish there was something we could do to make it louder, but unfortunately, it's cranked to the gills there when it comes to the Twitter player, I guess is the right way of putting it. King Tron with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. He says, great win tonight. Go, Pack, go. Pray for Quay and Grant. So that was an ankle for Quay, right? Am I thinking right, guys?
I think so. Ankle or knee? Something.
I was honestly going to ask you because I didn't hear when they were reporting it. But it looked like that. It looked like it kind of got folded up on when he rolled and got that tackle. Just weird landing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's nothing super serious and he's all right because I've been waiting a while. I want to see him and Edrin Cooper on the field for a whole game together.
In the chat, we asked the chat. They give us 3 ankles and 1 knee. So okay, now we got 4 ankles. That's enough. We'll take it.
Ankles,
Majority
rules, right? King Tron, thank you so much for the super. And same thing with Grant DeBose, obviously, man. Haven't heard an update yet. So if you guys know an update, throw it in the chat for everybody. Hopefully everything's going as good as it possibly can there with Grant DeBose down in Miami. Harry Cheese in the chat said, I actually said, hey, nice tackle, Stokes. I don't think I've ever done that. So good stuff.
We're going to give him some.
Eric Sutherland, Stokes brought respect to the Eric name tonight.
I love it.
Sutherland says, as he has his Caleb Williams munching on a corn cob picture there. So leave it at that. Harry Cheese also said he's tied with Rodgers for most touchdown passes in his first 30 starts, talking about Jordan Love. That's pretty wild. That is wild. Again, man, people still like to hate on Jordan, and I know there's ups and downs, but he started this game 10 of 11. He was on freaking fire. And guys, we talk about the three phases of the game, right? The first quarter, you're gathering information. The second into the third quarter, it's about controlling the middle late. You make the adjustment, and then it's the fourth quarter is just a standalone game. And that's exactly what happened. First quarter, hey, you were prepared, man. You came out and you got off to a hot start. They made the adjustment. You controlled the middle late. And then you get in the fourth quarter, it's a standalone game. Now it's okay. We got a 10-point lead. We got a 14-point lead. Whatever the lead is, the clock's our opponent. Now you call the game and I know it's a 3 and out and people get frustrated, but it's about winning the ball game. It ain't about boat racing people. If that happens as a byproduct, awesome, So, but yeah, that whole thing there, if that's true and he's tied with Rodgers for touchdown passes the first 30 starts, holy cow, dude. That's awesome. So appreciate that information there. Mr. Harry Cheese. Nate Dizzle in the house says, good question. Was LVN injured? It did feel like we didn't see him in the second half much, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know.
I have a snap count of 25 plays for him. He had 8 run defense, 17 pass rush, and no coverage. So
the last I remember with him was the thumb, right? He had he jacked his thumb up in the Detroit game.
Right.
He tape him and he came back in, and I think he popped up on this week's injury report with that.
Tim, didn't it seem like we saw a lot more Mosby and a lot more Cox out getting legit reps?
Yeah, for sure. So I wonder if
Mosby got 22. I feel like that's a lot for him. Anibari 22, Rashawn had 29, LVN 25, Brandon Cox had 20, Carl Brooks 27. I mean, they were. And that's what I like about when our D-line can stay like that or all around the 20s. Everybody's splitting looks like the total Eric Stokes was in for 59 plays. I think that is the max. So out of 59 plays, they're basically splitting them, 20 to 30 reps a piece. I love that. That way, keep them fresh, keep the speed on them.
Yeah, and I think LVN probably did tweak something because, he was playing well. I don't think it's because of his play.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he did get hurt. Got hurt.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys see Edrin Cooper's story he shared earlier before the game?
No, but I saw someone talking about how he called it.
So he just shared a picture of Michael Myers on his story, like he was going to be playing. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's definitely playing." That dude's he's awesome, dude. Like that, he's just got the right mindset, man. He really does. It's awesome. Zach Cruz on Twitter just tweeted out, Packers defense had 6 players with a sack, 7 players with a tackle for a loss, 9 players with a quarterback hit, 4 players with a pass defended. Finished with 7 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss, 12 QB hits, 6 passes deflected, plus the 2 takeaways. I mean, let's go. Somebody put some spec on Jeff Hafley's name. So, all right, let's see what else in the chat. We got all kinds of super chats. I gotta get caught up here. Seth Ruder with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Which wide receiver we pay now? Both. And again, this is why I said a long time ago, Seth, go to both of them and say, hey, man, let's get out in front of this thing, right? A little more guaranteed money, lower cap hit, right? And try to get them both under contract now. And it doesn't mean that heavy cap hit kicks in now. It just simply means, all right, you got them locked down. They get their money up front. You spread it out over the duration of the contract. But, yeah, you're right, man. I thought the same thing. When Romeo made that catch in the back of the end zone, I went, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Which one do I want more, Christian Watson or him, right? Because it's going to be hard to pay them both.
And who ran those? Who ran those 2 routes on that max protect play? Those 2 we're talking about right now, Christian and Romeo. And he had Christian on that outbreaker too. I think he got that corner turned around. He could have thrown it to him, but throw it over the top where there's no safety, no chance.
Yeah. Realistically, you can pay 2 wide receivers. You can. It's just going to take resources away from other aspects of your roster, right? Like for example,
trying to pay your right tackle.
Yeah. Think of the teams who have paid 2 wide receivers. The first one that comes to mind for me is the Chicago Bears. We don't want to be that, right? We don't want to be that. But the window's open and you want to kick some money down the road, you could go that route too, right? You could definitely go that route. So Seth, I'm with you, man. Yeah. I don't know how to answer that, Bub. I can give you $1.99 back. I don't know how to answer it.
I think the answer is both. I think you at least try, right? I mean, especially when you consider like these 2 guys are playing at such a high level and they bring different aspects to the receiving threat. They're not the same type of receiver. And so they're a good tandem. It's good complementary guys to have. So there's an argument for a guy like Scoot and Rome to stay on the team. It's just, can you financially make it happen?
Yeah. And again, Seth, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Good to see you in here. Badger Trio with the super chat. Appreciate you, pal. He says, we'll be at the Monday Night Football. Place be rocking playoffs clinch. Could you imagine Monday Night Football against the Saints, a beat-up Saints team? You win, you clinch the playoffs. Woo-wee.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The beer cheese curds will be crispy, right? The elk stroganoff will be smooth down at the 1919 Kitchen and Tap. Man, you kidding me?
A nice 11-4 on the board.
Let's go, dude. Little snow flying on Monday night. Not much, just a little snow. Everybody can still get home okay, snow flying.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it disappears before it hits the ground, just enough to stir it up.
Gonna be an awesome night. Get to pay a little tribute to Mark Murphy. It's gonna be.
Dude, what a night, man! What a night! I might have to book a plane ticket, boys. Y'all got me thinking about it.
Here's a guy.
I might have to make that happen. When is that? It's next Monday, right?
Yeah. I can move some things around. I'm sure.
I'll be hell. I think we might be able to make that happen. Let's see. I might pop up in Green Bay next Monday. We'll see. Again, Badger Trio, thank you so much, buddy, for the super chat. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. As much crap I gave Coach LaFleur last year, he's as accountable as it gets, and he should be in the Coach of the Year conversation. Just someone, for the love of God, hide his red flag. Still love him. He is, 0 for 6, guys?
0 for 6.
How did you guys feel about the one he challenged? I seen everybody roasting him. I thought he was going to win it.
I think that was one of his better ones, honestly. It was one of his closer option to one. The camera angle was what got us. If he had a side camera angle, like we've been always talking about, if we could have had one straight on the side, we would have at least had a better shot.
Yeah. And then I like how we forfeit our other challenge late in the game by pissing away our 3rd timeout. So we had a challenge left, but we couldn't use it because we didn't have the timeout to back it up. So yeah, it's tough, but I agree, Clay. I thought the same thing. I thought it was, at best, it was pretty close. It was worth taking another look at. We've seen much worse challenges from Coach LaFleur.
But I'm happy that he stepped up and was like, hey, man, like at some point, sometimes I have to tell Jordan, hey, this is the play, let's run it kind of thing, rather than giving him too much time. mean, we don't want to pull. We were close to pulling what the Bears did at the end of the Lions game there at half. So I'm glad Matt, at least said something about it. But no, I think that he's, Jordan has all the skill and everything. He just wants to find the right one. I'm happy that he's dumping it down early. He's not taking, he took those T swings 2 or 3 times this game when the pocket was, inches from him. And I'm glad that he's able to wait till the end, but still get it off a nice safe pass.
Yeah, definitely. And Godsmack, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Mike Hebring with the super chat says, any update on Watson's injury? Mike, I seen your super chat ahead of time. I went and combed through. The last thing I seen was Rob Domofsky saying he came down hard and he was sitting on the bench at that point. That was like 40 minutes ago. It was right at the end of the game, or right as the game wrapped up, I guess. Yeah. So I don't think if it was serious, he would have went to the tent, right?
Yeah.
He would have went in the locker room. My guess is pretty big lick. Yeah, losses win, right? That's kind of what I was thinking. So hopefully that's the case, and we'll keep an eye on that too before the show.
That's what happened to Romeo on that first penalty he drew, that deep route where he kind of smacked. I was like, oh, and then he kind of did the punching on the ground. I was like, all right, he's okay. But I didn't like how he bounced, slapped his back on the turf.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'll keep an eye here on Twitter to see if anything comes back in there with Christian Watson. Thank you for the super chat, Mike. Dennis Shook with the super chat says, I want to wish you gentlemen and everyone in the chat a safe and Merry Christmas. I'm an OTR truck driver. This show is always here for me when I'm missing the wife and kids. God bless you. All right, Dennis, appreciate you, buddy. You be safe out there. Mm-hmm. Thank you for keeping this country moving out there.
Yeah, appreciate that.
One of the most important jobs in this entire country out there, man. We take it for granted every day. It's just something that, obviously it's definitely behind the military and the police officers and emergency responders, all that stuff. But man, if the truckers ain't around, boys, I ain't getting that
the blood of the country.
We ain't eating nothing if the truck drivers.
Blood of the country stops pumping when the truckers stop driving.
That's right.
That's right. So, Dennis, thank you, buddy. Thank you for your service out there, man. We appreciate you for sure. All right, let's see. Keep an eye on the chat for me, guys. Don't let me miss out on these super chats if they come in. I'm sorry it took me so long.
One more.
Did we? Okay, pop it up there. Let's go ahead.
G126 comes to Monday night for the PTA fantasy playoff.
Here's the guy.
Man, look at that, dude. You kidding me?
Right.
That's right. So that
playoffs.
It's the top 6, and then what? We got the Turlet Bowl for the rest, or
Turlet Bowl.
The Turlet Bowl.
We could have the fantasy playoff party over at the what's it called? The Glass Slipper? No, what's it called? The Oval Office.
There you go. Yeah, after the game, everybody meet up.
And they said there's nothing to do in Green Bay. Stop it.
They said there's nothing to catch in Green Bay. Stop.
Oh, boy.
There you go. Jake, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. I'm excited to see what happens in the playoffs there for sure, man. Not from the Oval Office, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's go through the stat line here real quick in the box score. Again, you guys keep an eye on that super chat for me. And a regular chat, too, if you guys got something, mark it and just throw it up on the screen, cut me off. Jordan Love, 20 of 27 for 229 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And again, that was with them taking their foot off the passing throttle there in the second half, right? I think he started the game 10 of 11. I think he was 9 for 9 and then threw an incompletion, then completed the next one. That's the last time I kind of looked at it. He was 10 for 11 at one point. So obviously a very efficient night, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. You love to see it, man. Jordan's getting better as the season's going along, right, guys? It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you want to see is growth. And, he's been around for a while, but, it's his second year as a starter, guys. Like we've always talked about, let these players develop how they develop. And you're seeing it week to week now with Jordan, man. He's just continuing to get better. No crazy risky throws today. Even on throwaways, he was able to he threw a dart of a check down to Josh Jacobs on one of those where he was scrambling backwards. That was impressive. Where just maybe a month ago where you were seeing him throw picks in those situations.
Right.
And even his late over the middle decision, Tim, to Christian Watson, there was nobody else around. Obviously I was sweating it, gave the D-line a little shake, threw it, but there was nobody near him.
He left it short, it short rather than leaving it long.
Yep.
Yeah, that was beautiful, man. So he's really protecting the football.
Just playing smarter.
Yep.
He has to, right? He's got a young team around him still. He's at some point got to take charge, run the offense. Matt gave him that freedom. He's got to make the decisions. He knows that he missed, he's the one dishing the rock. He's got to get it there if he can,
Think about that, man. It's Jordan Love and Elton Jenkins are the veterans on that offense, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's wild to think about. Like who is the longest tenured offensive player that we have?
Jordan.
It's got to be Jordan, right? Well, Elton, I think
Elton.
Yeah, be Elton, then Jordan, and I think that's it, right? I mean, other than that, everybody's younger than Jordan. So there you go. King Chom with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, thank you for all the kind words. I'm tuning in from a trucking terminal as we speak. Merry Christmas to all. Love the show. Stand up, men and women. Appreciate you, Tron. Thank you. Thank you for your service out there, brother. I appreciate that. And you, so awesome about the show. All the listeners make this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's great, man. It's just kind of keeping everybody.
We'll start getting some PTA stickers made up, Clay. Start flapping them on the windows so we know when we drive by we can just honk at them.
Get them on those 18-wheelers.
Yeah,
yeah. We'll get the honk or we'll get the bird, one of the two, right? You know what I mean? We have our enemies too. Let's don't kid ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the running game. Josh Jacobs, 26 carries for 94 yards. Jaden Reed and a touchdown. I apologize, along with 19. Jaden Reed, 3 carries for 27 yards, along with 13. Emmanuel Wilson, 3 carries for 9 yards. Chris Brooks, 1 carry for 6 yards. Jordan Love, 1 scramble for 4 yards. The running game, when they broke out the jet sweeps, I thought it was a great timing thing. And I think they went to it twice on one drive too, because they really started to load the box. That's how when we're talking about when's the right time to run the jet sweep, that's it. When they start loading the box and you get all those bodies inside the tackles, turn that jet sweep loose, especially with Jaden Reed. It was fun to watch tonight. Now, they did get one in the red zone, and we got a little Emilio immediately.
You saw my text when that happened.
Trying to put a quarter in me on that one.
Yeah. But they were setting it up all game, though, right, Clay? From the start, we're running jets. We'll throw it in an orbit. And then we finally went back to it. I was wondering if they were ever going to tie in the orbit. They finally did, but it was more, reversed out of that tight formation. That's something we ran last year, that real tight. And then, get Tucker out there and let him go to work.
Yeah, definitely. Tim, you got anything to add to the running game here, buddy, before we move on? Anything?
Yeah, that magic number again for Mr. Josh. 26 carries. I just love to see it. Wish we could have cracked 100 today, but that's all right. We'll take the 94 yards and a tutter. That's all good.
Had to have been the second half, though, right, Tim? We were 7 rushes for 8 yards at one point when they put that up there. That's tough. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I think, Sean Ryan was doing all right, but he got turned a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
And one time when they were doing that zone right, I think it was on that 4th down or something. It looked like Sean Ryan, Elton, and Tucker were all going right, and then Josh Myers goes left on that zone, and the dude slipped right underneath. I'm wondering that's the kind of stuff that can't happen in the playoffs. All those things need to be hammered out. They probably should already be gone at this point. But if it's something where we're, it's not a pull and everyone's supposed to be zone right, we need to be on the same page.
We can't have 2 guys blocking 1 guy when we're not running duo. That's not a good look.
Yeah, definitely. Packers Kingdom said we did a lot of screens. I love it, and it was successful. That's the other thing, right? You start keying on the run, little screen game, get those guys moving upfield, get that box loaded up, kick it out there, get a +1 hat count, and you're off to the races. So I thought Matt LaFleur made adjustments when he needed to. Listen, I think he said it best, the presser. It wasn't his best second half, that's for sure. Yep. But you did everything you need to do to win this ball game and take advantage of every situation for sure. Donovan Schilling in the chat says, "Hey Clayton, what's your feels on all the reverses, specifically the one within the 10? LOL." Yeah, it's just tough, man.
There's that quarter.
Yeah, bro. When you get inside the 5, especially, it's like, what are we doing here? We're trying to run 42 yards to get to. Like, listen, I'm from Kentucky. I'm an idiot, but I know that's a shorter distance running around the world. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just now when it works, you don't complain, obviously, right? I'm as guilty as anyone, but it is frustrating when you see Josh Jacobs like he is as good as anyone inside the 5, and then tonight it didn't apply, right? Yeah. And again, I didn't complain. Emilio, did I complain in the chat? I did not. No. You were just trying to put a quarter in me.
No, I was just Donovan was the one, and Tim was the one. Okay, I was over here mediating. I was just
I did mine in the privacy of our group text. Okay, so
there's nothing private here.
No, I used all the quarters at the car wash this week, bro. I was trying to get the truck cleaned up. They're all gone. I'm not putting another one
in. Badger Trio with a super chat. Appreciate you, pal. He says first win in Seattle since 08. Many horror games. Yeah, that's a great point, man. First time since 08. Now we've dominated them here lately, but that Lumen, whatever it's called now, Lumen Field, obviously been a tough place for the Packers to win. So that's a great.
How about
thing.
them Packer fans and those "Go Pack Go" chants you heard on the TV copy? Did you hear that?
Yeah, dude, it was
like this was loud.
Lambeau West, man. That was a takeover. I like it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. They were talking about that in the pregame. A lot of green here. I thought they were being talking about lime green. They're talking about the fluorescent green. No, there was a lot of Packer fans there. So love to see it. And you can only imagine, a Packer fan on the West Coast, if they can't afford to make it to Lambeau, you get an opportunity to obviously, watch your favorite team play closer to home. You're going to try to make it happen. I bet we do got a lot of Packer fans out there on the West Coast for sure. I love that picture. You're kidding me. Thank you for the super chat again there. Who was at Badger Trio. Appreciate you, buddy. And, let me go back to that real quick. We'll get to these other super chats. It just hit me. Like, when was the last time Aaron Rodgers won in Seattle? Did he ever win in Seattle? I mean, 08. He took over win in 08.
08 was his first year.
So he might have won there his first year, and then after that, he didn't win there again, right? And again, I ain't trying to turn this into Rodgers hate. I'm just saying, like, it's another thing that, like, holy cow, when you look at what Jordan's done, that's being compared to Aaron here of lately. So again, Badger Trio, thank you, buddy. Mike Hebring with the super chat, appreciate you. Matt admitted he sucked at 2-minute time management at the end of the first half. I wholeheartedly agreed with him, is what Mike Hebring said there. Appreciate the super chat, man. United Bates with the super chat, $30.13. I see what you did
Another
there.
Final score super chat from Bates, the great. I love it.
Keeping the tradition alive. He said, what was Emilio's passer rating at the parade? Starburst to the foreheads. Sounds like a metal band. Appreciate y'all so much.
No, the first pass I got stuffed at the line, man. I smacked the side of my fingers on the side of the windowsill. It did not feel good. After that, though, I had a run there. I was on a heater. I think I went 9 for 10 after that, and then just tried to hit a couple deep balls. It was tough though, because then you got some of the kids that just were going for it, and the candy that's in the road, they're like weaving across, and I'm like just walking the line a little bit, So, but it was a good time. I appreciate you, Bates, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Emilio was over there like Tupac LaFleur and Tuck Norris at work here,
Yeah. I told him, I said, I needed a sidekick. I had help in the back, so it was a team effort. There was no way I was chucking all that.
Yeah. I would have been shopping for candy for that parade and like testing weight. Like, yeah, I can get a good.
Yeah. Well, the problem is then it gets cold. Got to keep it inside. Can't let it be outside cold for the night. Man, some of them were Tootsie Rolls. Those things had some solidity to them.
Solidity.
Yeah, man, those things were solid. I mean,
I'll look that up. I love it. All right. You say they were thick? Is that what you said?
Yeah, they were.
I think you did say it. All right. My goodness, man.
Thick.
All right. So, again, Bates, thank you, buddy. You're too kind. We appreciate you, man. Dennis Shook with the super chat. Emilio saves his quarters for the working man's Gatorade.
Yep. You know it. That's all I drink. Besides Evan Williams and a lot of bourbon. But that's besides the point.
I like it. All right. Evan Williams, sponsor the show.
Hey, okay. Real quick. He was a step slow today? No? Or was that just me? Do you think he was a little?
Yeah, I don't think Williams is 100% yet.
I thought he was just a little slow today, a little bit half a step behind, which I'm not mad about, but I just think that he wasn't, letting it rip. I think he was still holding back a little, or he just, didn't have.
You see, he put a shot on Tyler Lockett, though.
I did see that.
Yeah.
The piss was hot with that one for sure.
Yeah, so on his PFF prelim was 56. He did. You said 83 tackling. That's what they had him at, Tim. He stuck him. but I think his coverage, he was just a second behind.
Yep.
But I'm super happy that Metcalf was an absolute no-show. Besides a couple of the JSN, they really didn't have a passing game.
They were really using Metcalf as like a decoy on a lot of things, trying to free up JSN and Lockett there for a while.
I also saw Metcalf block Isaiah McDuffie almost to the sideline. So that's also, I mean, he is a grown man.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. Jackson Smith and Jigba had 10 catches, but only 83 yards. So they definitely kept everything underneath them, jump out to a lead, and now we're off to the races, right?
Like you always say, right? Limit the explosives.
Absolutely, man. It's huge. In an explosive game, we won 6-3 tonight.
Huge.
So, big. I mean, we doubled their explosives. We won the turnover differential 2-1, and we won the middle 8 3-0. And then the first down passes, you guys know I'm not a fan, right? Yeah. We were 7 of 8 on first down passes. You want to know why we jumped up early? The first half, 4 for 4 on first down passes. So when you
we were kind of varying when we were throwing on first down, though. It wasn't back to back drive, constantly throwing on first. Matt was mixing it in good with the run game, and I think that's why we found more success tonight.
Yeah, and you know why Matt doesn't script his first 15 plays was because all he called was 22 or 23 dive for the first 10 plays. He was just like,
save the ink. We ain't got to.
It was one, I think Pack Daddy retweeted it. It's like inside zone, just hit in the face, good stuff.
Again, it was like
edit D's. How about that?
Dennis, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Badger Trio with the super chat. Appreciate you. He says Watson cleat to shin in interview saying he's okay. So I didn't know. So he took a cleat to the shin. He should be good to go. Maybe a little laceration there, right? There was some solidity to that cleat, it sounded like. So
that's terrible.
Badger Trio, thank you for the update, buddy. Appreciate you finding that for us, man. Nothing like a listener paying us to tell us what we need to know. It's absolutely awesome.
That's why we have the best, man. The posse is the best.
It's awesome. I'm going to have to put you guys on the payroll here. Godsmack AR69 with the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Says, is Josh Jacobs the best Green Bay running back on screen receptions since Amon Green? I love Aaron Jones, but it felt like he had lineman hands at times. I don't think that's a crazy statement, Godsmack. Josh Jacobs just looks smooth in the transition of catching the ball and getting upfield. Like there's no hesitation at all. And sometimes it did feel like Aaron Jones was turning before he caught the ball because he's a slasher, right? Josh Jacobs is a patient runner. He's a patient player. You could tell when he cuts, he's gone. But it was like Aaron Jones was shot out of a cannon. He's just slashing. He's just all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and we're not dogging Jonesy. But, I think I would agree with that. What do you guys think? I feel like Josh Jacobs might be a better screen back than Aaron Jones and maybe the best since Amon Green here, as Godsmack says.
I would agree with that.
Tim, do you remember what that was they put on the screen there? It was Josh Jacobs had I forgot what it was. It was since 2003, I think he's run, was it the most yards per game or something like 100 yards over the past 8 games. Dude's just been tearing it up. I think his hands are there, and he's a good outlet for Jordan Love. He's not, once we hammered out his pass blocking issues earlier, we can hit him on the couple, block slips and just have him. And Love took those T swings and those checkdowns, which is huge, which we had a problem with earlier in the season when he kind of wanted to force it down the field.
Yep. No. I agree.
Yeah, Coach Lynn says Lloyd is the slasher whenever we get him back. That's the other thing. We still haven't gotten him back. That's going to be a lot of fun to see him in this offense. Tad Samato, man, this one hit home with me. Best since Tony Fisher. You guys remember Tony Fisher from Notre Dame? Remember that name? Back early 2000s. My first game I went to, he caught a swing pass for a touchdown, ironically. He was a lot of fun to watch. Tony Fisher. It was Tony Fisher, Amon Green, and Najee Davenport, if I remember correctly.
Okay, there we go.
Najee Davenport. I was talking to Mike Wall about this. I like, man, Najee was a power back, wasn't he? He went, no, he's a world-class track guy. He was speed. I was like, you got to be kidding me, because he played like a fullback. But they said he had track speed, pretty wild to think about that combination, man. That's terrifying. So, again, Godsmack, thank you for that super chat, bud. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Jason Y with a super chat. Thank you, pal. Says, did you guys see Dan Campbell's onside kick attempt with 12 minutes left in the game? What is he without his coordinators? That's the thing, Jason. Like, with the way that game ended, if he didn't do that onside kick, and at the time we were live for the pregame show, and it's like I guess he feels like his defense can't stop him. But at the same time, hindsight 2020, if he doesn't try that onside kick and they get a stop, like the field position aspect, they might win that ball game. That's crazy to think about. And again, it's going to catch up to him. As far as what is he without his coordinators, I completely agree, man. Like, I feel comfortable saying that when Ben Johnson leaves, it's probably going to be Antoine Randall that'll become his offensive coordinator. I think that's his receiving coach right now. But when Ben Johnson leaves, and if Aaron Glenn gets it, he may not get a job now after what the Bills did to that defense. But when they leave, man, I do think that Dan Campbell's going to struggle, I believe. What do you guys think about all that there?
I would agree. I think Jason's onto something there.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. I mean, it's not to take any credit away from Dan Campbell, but you also got to be real, right? It's definitely the staff that they put together there that is a big reason why they're finding the success that they've had recently, for sure.
Whose coaching staff got littered over, or blistered over the offseason? The Ravens got absolutely lit up. What were they? 8-5, 9-5 right now, something like that. They're still good, right? It's not like they're not a good team. You go through a lot more ups and downs and hiccups. And Lamar's got 30 touchdowns and 3 picks or something. So it's not like he's playing bad, but you go through a lot of turnover. There's a lot more that happens, to most NFL teams in coaching turnover than have happened to the Lions. And then also them starting to have to deal with a couple years being at the end of the draft cycle. You're not getting those first 10 picks each year to build your team up. And then, you get 3 years of 10, first 10 picks and then go from there.
Yeah. Again, Jason, thank you for the super chat. Dennis Shook with the super chat. My old man called Najee the closet crapper. I don't know what that means, Dennis. Hope I didn't get canceled just now, but I appreciate the super chat. Let's get it up.
Pat you on the butt and you pooped my hand. So
perfect. Perfect job. All right, let's go back to the box score here real quick. We were talking about their receivers, like I said, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 10 catches, but only 83 yards. Just shows you they've really kept him in check, keeping
His receiving it's tough.
DK Metcalf, 3 catches for 28 yards, only 3 targets. He caught all 3 targets, but again, that goes to what you guys were talking about, kind of bracket covering him, keeping him in check and making him go underneath. Yep. Noah Fant got 7 targets, only 3 catches for 15 yards, and you can see, man, they were laying his ass out when he would catch a football, man. Yeah. They were really flying to the ball. It was a lot of fun to watch, for sure. So, our receivers, this is wild, man. We hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different receivers. Okay, Christian Watson, 3 catches for 56 yards, but he did get the deep pass interference penalty. Right, huge. That's not going to show up in a stat column. Josh Jacobs, 4 catches for 42 yards. Romeo Doubs, 3 catches for 40 yards with 2 touchdowns. This man right here, 3 catches for 40 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he also had the deep PI that put him inside the 5. Remember that before halftime, he got the field goal. Tucker Kraft, only 2 targets, but 2 catches for 34 yards. Got some yak there. We seen that. Yep. Jaden Reed, 6 targets, 5 catches, 34 yards. Not bad. Dontavion Wicks, 2 catches for 14 yards. One of which, though, if I remember correctly, first down, right? Move the sticks.
Yep.
So it just seems like they kind of go to him in those moments when everyone else is being bracketed.
And it was another one of those, he just sat down in space, right? Ran and found the space and, made a great catch and picked up the first. I love to see it.
Absolutely. Chris Brooks, 1 catch for 9 yards. Go ahead, Emilio.
I was just saying, of those 7 that you were talking about, 6 of them had at least 2 catches. That's huge that you're spinning it around, but it's multiple catches to each of those targets. And I think there was definitely a conscious effort to give Jaden Reed the ball. I know he didn't get any last game. We gave him 3 carries. We had, 6 passes. Let's get him. I think on the board was get Jay Reed 10 touches, and then try to get everybody else at least 5.
Tupac LaFleur was cooking tonight.
Yep.
Definitely was, man. And still, what's crazy is you score 30 points on the road, right? Tough place to play. And you still come away going, man, we could have done so much better. You know what I mean? That says a lot about a team and the opportunities and the position you put yourself in for sure. King Tron with the super chat says, last chat. Honestly, we keep in 23 after this year. Man, I tell you, it got loud this week, boys. It got loud. We talked about it a couple times on the shows, right? If you can, Tron, this is the way I'm going to answer it, and it's kind of a cop out. I'm just going to admit to it. If you can guarantee me he's going to play in 14 games next year, I'd say, yeah, let's keep him. But based off what's happened, it's like, man, how many times are we going to – and that's why I think Goody's probably going to go to him at the end of the year and be like, hey, let's restructure. And if he bucks – then you might hear some trade rumors, right? You might just hear it. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? It's tough for me. It really is.
I would agree, but we don't have a crystal ball, right? So we don't know. Is he going to be available? How available going forward? It's not just the current. I think he's dealing with a PCL injury or something in the knee. That's not the only thing he's dealt with. He's had the groin, the shoulder. There's a multitude of problems. But he fights to try and get on the field. And, yeah, it's frustrating we haven't seen him on the field. So I think if he's available, I want him. I want him on my team. But that's the question is, you can't make the club in the tub, as they say. So it's just tough. My gut would say, yeah, if he's healthy going into next year, let's run it back. But if not, yeah, we gotta ask some serious questions.
Yeah, I second both of those. Players go through injuries, ride it out. Sometimes they're perfectly fine. Rashawn went through his knee. He was down again the year after, and now he's starting to climb back. Maybe it's just a bad year and it's moving forward from here. But yeah, it's tough to say right now.
I think if we would all agree that if we do have Jair back, we want the old Jair back, right? We want this Jair back.
Took it down the sideline, turned over with my guys, gave the football to a little kid wearing 23.
And again, he's the 11th highest graded corner this year going into week 15, right? According to PFF. And then passer rating when targeted, he was like 21st in the league, 20th, somewhere around that range. So he's a solid number one corner. It's not like he's played bad. It's just he hasn't played much. It is what it is. So,
like I said, if he does something in the playoffs, or if he does two or three things on the games leading up to it, and a couple of plays in the playoffs, the year of him being hurt is going to kind of go down the drain. If he showed up and played, and if he say he plays, gets hurt again, whatever, fights through it while he's playing in the playoffs, that's a different story. If it's down to crunch time, like right at this second, we don't need him on the field. I'm not mad at getting other reps to other players. Carrington is obviously just getting better by having these reps, which is just going to help us down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like Stokes got better too.
Right.
Stokes played better simply by playing more, having to play more.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, Carrington Ballantyne getting that interception, boys, Stokes is looking at that going, I gotta up my game here. I gotta, you know what I mean?
We just gotta have a little chat with CV about that, running it out of the end zone.
Bro,
buddy.
Mandy said, I heard you.
Hair out.
Mandy said she heard me scream. She was watching the game downstairs. She heard me all the way upstairs scream, Get on the effing ground. Everybody's going, whoa, Clayton's the calm one on the show. No, he ain't. Not during the game.
Because usually on those, like when you pick one off in the end zone, you look downfield, you see daylight. We all know it's a pick six. You just bolt and go up the sideline. But if you think you're going to run it out and start weaving through traffic.
He did. He danced around.
Oh, my goodness.
He was trying to show Rich Bisaccia he wants to be a punt returner, too. He's like, Coach, watch this. I'm about to show you.
It felt like they took a commercial break, came back, and he was still trying to get out of the end zone. And that's what it felt like.
Right.
So.
I found myself thinking, man, why didn't Tyler Lockett make the tackle there? We'd have been great. Force the touchback.
See?
King Tron, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Mike Hebring with the super chat. Who has more touchdowns after the first 30 starts, 10 or 12? I think somebody said it earlier in the chat, Mike. They're tied, is the way I understood. Is that the way y'all understood that too when it was mentioned earlier?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Mike said trick question. They both have 56 touchdowns in the first 30 starts.
That's wild, man. That is wild. Well, you're talking about a first ballot Hall of Famer, the guy that everyone refers to as the best thrower of the football. And their touchdown passes are the same. That's crazy. That is nuts. I don't know. That's exciting, is what it is. So,
dude, we're lucky. We're absolutely blessed. And 30 starts, that includes the Kansas City game. That includes that fit. You know what I mean? So it's not just he's building something. You can tell a quarterback, what's the number, 26 or 28 starts. You can tell if you have something after that.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's when Toyota's on fired up. Pretty sure. So he's just been cooking ever since. It's like, all right, yeah, we got our guy.
Emilio's shopping for forerunners right now.
Yeah.
Online.
Little estimate rig.
Yes,
again,
sir.
Mike, thank you for the super chat, bud. We appreciate you. All right, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Then we got to give away an autographed Lucas Van Ness jersey, boys. Edgerrin Cooper, 7 tackles, 6 solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss. And, of course, he had the interception in which he returned it for 22 yards. I mean, guys, 6 solos tackles. I'm going to say it again. A sack, 2 tackles for a loss, and an interception where you gain 22 yards of invisible yardage. Like that's someone who's tilting the field in your favor. There's no two ways about it. He's a real, and it's not like, oh, he finally had a good game. No, this dude, when he's on the field consistently, when like early in the year they were kind of easing him in. When he's on the field, he's making a difference. And you step back from a scouting standpoint and go, okay, what does he do well? Where are his limitations? I do not see a limitation. He can cover down the seam. We've seen him in the pass breakup against Jacksonville. He can blitz the quarterback and strip the sack, for a fumble like he did against Jacksonville. We've seen him scoop and almost score fumble recoveries, right? We've seen him tackle in the open field. We've seen him tackle for a loss. We've seen another sack tonight. We've seen him pick the ball off. Listen, Quay Walker, it sucks with the ankle because he was starting to play better, and hopefully he's not out too long. But how many interceptions have we seen him drop?
Yeah.
Edgerrin Cooper is like maximizing his opportunities. And again, it's not a knock against Quay. It's just showing like this dude, Edgerrin Cooper, is the real deal, man. He is.
How about Hopper? What about did you like how fast Hopper was flying around on his 3 plays?
Did he have 3 plays? I missed it.
Yeah, at the end of the game there, he had 3 plays. He made a tackle there. I liked it.
Oh, man, all right, I got you. So I love what Chris Collinsworth said too, though, man. He shouted. He said everybody we talk to in Green Bay, they keep mentioning Edgerrin Cooper's name. So
Here's the guy
with their production meeting. That's perfect. All right, let's go rapid fire. We're running out of time here. Kingsley and Igbare. Here we go. Coach Lynn, Cooper is a war daddy. Love it. I don't know what that means, but all right. So Kingsley and Igbare, 5 tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss. Let's go, man. Big game from him. Edgerrin Cooper, 5 tackles. Keyshawn Nixon, 5 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. Keyshawn had a rough night. I imagine he's going to have a pretty bad grade with those 2 penalties, but we'll see. Isaiah McDuffie.
That one penalty, that first one was ticky-tack.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. But PFF will, they'll do their thing.
He at a prelim had him at 55.6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly
stay around there, right? Somewhere in the 50s, probably.
Yeah.
No.
I'd say so. Hope so. All right. Sliding down here, Rashawn Gary, 2 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss. He also had a pressure on one of the sacks early. Who was it? It was the Cooper sack. Gary got the pressure. He just dog walked the left tackle right into Geno Smith, pinned him against the tackle. Edgerrin Cooper smacked him in the mouth with an F. Let's see else on here. There's your boy Stokes, had 3 tackles. All right. Brenton Cox Jr., 2 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack.
Here's the guy.
Devontae White, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack. Carl Brooks, 1 tackle for a loss, 1 sack. And the Rashawn Gary sack, Carl Brooks absolutely blew that play up. It's not going to show up in the stat column other than a pressure, but that dude, he annihilated that offensive line. That's the reason Gary got that sack, no doubt about it. So, but again, Rashawn Gary, 4 sacks in the last 5 games. So, Toyota-thon working for Rashawn Gary too, boys. So, it is what it is.
You're going to have to buy the team a set. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be driving in.
Might be time for a new official vehicle for the Packers,
Yeah.
There you go. Sponsor the show. Carrington Ballantyne, 3 tackles, and he also had the interception in the end zone. That's a big swing. And I believe that was
after he dropped one. He almost had a pick on the previous play.
Yep.
They targeted him again, and this time he comes up with the ball. I love it.
Yeah.
Love plays like that.
And I think that was in the middle 8, if I remember correctly, boys.
Yeah.
That was right before halftime. So that won you the middle 8. If that's a touchdown as opposed to an interception, or they even score 3 points, you may end up, best case scenario, tying in the middle late 3-3. So huge play there from him. Anything else you guys want to look at statistically?
Coach said it means game wrecker.
Got it.
And
Appreciate it.
also, Tad said any of our linebackers greater than Campbell.
Yes. Hey, listen, man.
Yes.
The little Asian dude down here at the Japanese restaurant that makes sushi rolls for me, he's a better linebacker than Devondre Campbell right now. I'm just telling you, he's like 5'7". I'm just saying. All right.
Yeah, I mean, because he would show up and actually want to be there, right?
He would show up. He may not survive a snap, but he would show up. He got little ankles. I've seen.
Shouldn't have had that popcorn, Brucey.
I love that. Did you see? You guys see John Lynch basically called him out on it after that game?
What did John Lynch say, man?
He was pissed at Devondre Campbell, and the scuttlebutt that I'm hearing is that they're trying to pursue max suspension so that they can't, they're not going to reward. I think it was Ari Miroff that ran with that story, but they're basically going to try and suspend him and make sure that he can't, go to another team this year.
Yeah,
so
that's the other thing too. Like you suspend him for the remainder of the year, he doesn't get the salary checks.
Yep.
And you could probably try to do some kind of grievance to get some of the guaranteed money back too, right?
Yep.
So hopefully they do that, man. I'm with you on that.
King knows what I was going for. Can of corn and I'll be fine. Can of corn.
Is that from?
You better not cut me.
Is that from Long and Short?
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to go back and watch it, man. That's a good movie. Good movie. Bruce.
Will you teach me to football?
All right, this
Wait,
show.
you need to watch more movies, man. We just need to have.
I ain't got time to watch movies, Amelia. I'm a busy person, bro. You know how much Madden I play. I mean, you know how much work I do around here.
That's right. Yeah. Same.
A lot going on.
Yeah, double XP weekend. I'm sure, Clayton. I heard it. Come on now, don't be playing those games.
Is what it is, man.
we can call Cleat on you.
Yeah, Uncle Cleat out there getting his name passed around. And
I thought
he
did pretty good tonight, right? What do you guys think, real quick? Right? I thought the officiating wasn't a complete dumpster fire tonight. Wasn't bad.
Honestly, I can't think of one play where I'm like, oh man, that's a horrible call. I can't.
Probably because they hit us with like 5 Seattle penalties right off the bat. We were like, Cleat's doing his job, man. That a boy. Great job.
Funny how that works, right?
Oh man.
All right. Let's give away an autographed LVN jersey, guys. Just so Eric Sutherland doesn't say it's rigged here. We got all 131 entries. These are the people in our Patreon group as well as Donovan. Look at this already. Unbelievable. This is our.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
Patreon members and our YouTube members, okay? Just a way for us to give back to those who support the show. Put everybody's name on the Larry McCarron pinky wheel. You see that pinky hanging on for dear life right there. That looked like who was the backup quarterback tonight for? Was it Sam Howell? I think it looked like Sam Howell hanging on in the pocket right there.
How about these hands?
That's what he was drawing up in the play. He said, all right, we're going to go trips right, and then you just run an out route, okay? If we can get you on that, we'll be all right.
All right, what we're going to do here, we're going to hit shuffle a couple times here so they can't say. Somebody in the chat tell me how many times we should shuffle this thing. Give me a number. It don't matter. 1, 2. Well, don't make it like to 100, please. Give me between 1 and 10 here, all right?
Yeah, a realistic number here.
Between 1 and 10. Give me a number between 1 and 10. First one to do it, you don't win anything. 3.
3
right.
from Chris N.
All right, Chris N, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I seen Emilio's name. He ain't getting this.
I'm 100. Yo, I told you, if I get this, I'm taking it without a doubt. I'll do everything I need to. I'll email you or whatever. I'll prove who I am, but I'm taking that thing.
All right. Emilio, I don't think you got the paperwork to prove who you are. All right, here we go. Let's spin it. Winner of the autographed LVN jersey.
Oh, man.
It is.
Come on now.
Is it Ron again? No, okay. It was almost Ron Eckert. All right. Lyrical Killer.
We got Emilio's favorite rapper is the winner.
Huh?
All right, let me spell this one out. Give me a second. Y'all are off the
That's
rails.
lyrical with a K. Lyrikal.
All right. So he is the first place winner. If we don't hear from the lyrical god there, we're gonna give it to the second.
Who?
No whammies.
No whammies. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Greg in Green Bay. Here's the
Okay.
guy. There we go.
AKA Tim's burner, right? All right. And then let's go on for the third place in case we don't hear from those two knuckleheads, all right? Yeah, look at Nick McSwain. Yes, I am lyrical killer. All right. And just in case those two guys don't show up, if they're running from the government right now, you never know, right? It's going to be Matrix Jackson. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. There are you.
We got the last one squared away, right?
Yes, we did. We did.
Okay.
For sure. Yep. So we're good there. And those are going to go out with this. So as soon as we, obviously, the winner of these contact me, I'm going to go ship all that off together and get that sent out to the winner. So we appreciate y'all supporting. So again, those winners are Lyrical Killer, Emilio's favorite rapper. We got Greg in Green Bay, and then Matrix Jackson. So the way that's going to work is Lyrical Killer, shoot me an email or a text, okay? Text 865-658-5824 or email me, packerstotalaccess@gmail.com. If we don't hear from them, Greg in Green Bay will be the winner. If we don't hear from Greg in Green Bay, then it will be Matrix Jackson. So all three of you, whoever hears this, shoot me a message, and that way we can get everybody in line in case the first place or second place winner doesn't come forward. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
I probably botched that, didn't I? That's all right.
No, you're good. No, it makes
good.
sense. Everybody who got their name called, message him.
All right. That's it. All right, guys, we're done. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun, man. This was a good post-game show. We had a lot of laughs. That's going to be me here in a minute. I got to put a towel on my head.
That's that Victory Monday swag, man. That's going to be my outfit tomorrow.
That's my outfit.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning here in a couple hours, we're going to do a Good Morning Lambeau Victory Monday edition. So we'll be in here with the coffee and maybe a little bourbon in the coffee. Who knows?
Little
right?
coffee talk.
Little Irish cream.
Bro, tomorrow's going to be hectic for me. It's going to be wake up, do Good Morning Lambeau. Immediately following that, got to run into town for about, 2 hours. And then come back, break down the tape, get Chalk Talk ready, right? Do the evening show. And then Tuesday, we'll do Chalk Talk. And then I'm going out of town Wednesday. So the goal is to take everything with me Wednesday so we can do at least one show on Wednesday. Although, yeah, that'd probably be the best thing to do. So we could do a show on Wednesday. So we'll figure it out. If we can't, maybe you guys can fly along there and do a show for me. That'd be helpful too. But we're going to go to North Carolina and hit the mountains, see some snow and all that good stuff, man. We got a good little trip planned. So
nice.
But we should just be out of the loop for one day. We're going to go tubing up there too on the mountainside. So I might come back with a neck brace. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Seriously, you guys were awesome tonight. All right. Chat was lit up. If you would hit that like button, hit the sub button for us. This was a lot of fun, man. These post-game shows are what it's all about, for sure. What makes what we do so worth it, for sure. I like this, Larry, in the chat. Thanks, guys, and Carly the Beard. Great win. Go back, go. So let's see if we can give a shout-out to all the Super Chats, man. There was a bunch. I'm going to go rapid fire, okay? We go Dennis Shook, Mike Hebring, King Tron, new member, Dennis Shook, Godsmack, King Tron, Seth Reuter, Badger Trio, Godsmack, Mike Hebring, Dennis Shook, King Tron, Jake G126, the Badger Trio, Mike Hebring, United Bates with the Big Dono, Dennis Shook again, Badger Trio, Godsmack, Jason Y, Dennis Shook, King Tron, and Mike Hebring again. Thank you all so much for the Super Chat. We really appreciate y'all supporting the stream. So that being said, you guys got anything else? We good?
That's it, man. We're good. Another dub in the books. Can't wait for Victory Monday tomorrow, man. Let's get it.
That's all.
Go get a nap. We'll see y'all in the morning for Victory Monday. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Go Pack.
And we go.
Bye, guys.